Too much on my mind, just too much on my mind. Too much on my mind, just too much on my mind. Too much on my mind, just too much on my mind. Too much on my mind, just too much on my mind.
Peace. Brought to you by AM Phenomenal Unlimited. This is the Speak Your Mind podcast, hosted by the Queen, Shanice Gatewood Ali, and the God, I Be. Speak Your Mind, an open line podcast, delves into the week's current events, trending topics, and the social issues that affect Black people in America. Peace, peace, peace. Welcome, welcome. We here. It's the Speak Your Mind podcast. We here. What is today? Today is our fifth. Is today our fifth episode or fourth episode?
Well, it's technically our fifth, but we say fourth.
Okay, yeah, because we lost the first episode. But, as I open up today, I definitely want to say today's mathematics, which is understanding knowledge, all being born in a culture of freedom. Understanding is perception. It's to perceive the true essence of what you're dealing with. And knowledge is the accumulation of facts and information, right? So this will bring forth a culture, which is a way of life. My way of life is I God, meaning that I stimulate life and matter. I control the things around me, and I make sure that I contribute to my cipher in a positive way and destroy negativity. So peace. I'm the God I Be, and I'm with the beautiful Queen Shanice Gatewood Ali. Peace, Queen. What you got to say for today?
Peace, King. How are you? How are you? Peace, everybody. Thank you for coming into our world. Our fourth podcast, our Speak Your Mind podcast with the Allis. Thank you so much for being a part of this with us.
Right. So today's topic is going to be about a current event that happened in Harlem. We're going to be talking about a certain situation that happened in Harlem at a liquor store where a young lady actually went into the liquor store after work to get something, and she was accosted by a group of people that was outside the liquor store. I'm going to read the article about exactly what happened, but before we do that, do you have any announcements or any things you want to speak about before that?
Well, as everyone know, We Are Phenomenal Women is an organization that prevent people, especially our women, with domestic violence, prevent them from going into another one. So we educate our ladies on that. However, we having our fourth pre-Valentine's event coming up February 13th. And basically our event is basically uplifting, empowering. Also, Ashley Stewart is sponsoring, as well as Mary Kay is sponsoring our virtual online first time ever event. So please stay tuned for that. If anyone would like to purchase any tickets, please hit me up on wearephenomenalwoman.com. wearephenomenalwoman.com. The tickets are $25, and all the donations and proceeds going into the organization for domestic violence. Thank you.
Excellent. So now, I guess I will read the article that we're talking about today. If you want to call in today to the Speak Your Mind podcast, the number is 347-450-6397. That's 347-450-6397. The banner can be seen at the bottom of your screen. Okay. So now I'm going to read this article, and it says, Harlem community gathers together to show support for a victim of a brutal attack outside a liquor store. Okay, so the search continues for the men who attacked a woman outside a Harlem liquor store, and now the community is showing their support for the victim. A large crowd of people stretched outside 128th Street in Harlem on Saturday night, many of them standing directly in front of the liquor store where a 31-year-old mother was brutally beaten Monday. The demonstration was the end of a rally that began 3 blocks away as women, men, and children stood on the corner speaking out against violence targeted in our neighborhood. If we don't do it, who is? It's our responsibility. It's our duty to protect our women and children in our community, said Omar Jackson, director of Stand Against Violence East Harlem. It could have been me, my daughters, my mother, any female East Harlem resident, Tamika Foster told CBS 2's Corey James. The community as a whole, we all need to stick together. Earlier this week, CBS 2's Lisa Rosner spoke exclusively with the woman who was assaulted. She says she was purchasing a bottle of wine inside a liquor store when one of the men offered to pay, but she politely declined. After checking out and leaving the store, the woman says the man and two others chased her across the street, then kicked her. One of them bit her on her forehead. No matter how much I ask, I'm trying to get my daughter. Please leave me alone. I said I'll call the cops. He didn't care about that. He had one thing in his mind, and that was to attack me. That's what he wanted to do, the victim told Rosner. The victim's family members showed up to Saturday's rally in support of their cousin, who they say is still traumatized. People can't think that they can do what they want to do. No means no, cousin LaRoya Small said. Senseless, no reason. She didn't even know them, cousin Sybil Small says. We need them caught. That's our main objective. Police are hoping surveillance footage will help make it happen so that the woman who was attacked can have justice and have her sense of security restored. I definitely want to see him locked up. It's not underneath, if not underneath the jail for what he did to me because I did not deserve this, the victim said. One of the men accused in the attack also allegedly stole the victim's iPhone. Wow, so this is a very serious situation that happened here, and we have a couple people. That are actually going to speak with the people today about this situation. So let me add them to the stream so they can introduce themselves, and we'll carry on from there.
Peace.
Peace, peace, peace. You got to unmute yourself, Queen. Peace.
Hello?
Yes.
Hey.
Hello.
You guys can hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
we can.
Okay, great. Peace to you, King and Queen.
Peace,
I'm
Peace.
so
Queen.
glad to be here and a part of this conversation.
Thank you.
I really hope I know how to work this. This is StreamYard. I'm used to Zoom. I think we all zoomed out, but this is a different platform, so I'm just gonna learn how to maneuver through this. But I'm here.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Most definitely. So I just want to play a little bit of the rally that they had out there when they was talking about in the article about the people that came out. But can you talk for a little while while I cue it up?
Yes. So with that, I just want to drop some tools today, some jewels, and get people to understand that when it come down to the black woman, because we're talking about black women. I don't know about any other race of people because I'm not around them. I'm around my cultural people, and we don't know what other races are going through. We don't know. But what I see in my community is a lot of our black women are going through a lot of disrespect. Okay, disrespect. So I just want to basically say to everyone, no nation can rise higher than its woman. We all have to remember at the end of the day, um, a baby come out of us, even though the man will give us his seed, right? But it's still up to us to say yes or no if we want to have the baby or not. So with that being said, what is going on? The disconnect, the disrespect for our black women. A lot of black women issues. Do they really solve the issues? Do they just know that this is going on, nobody get captured? What about the young man who hit the girl upside the head with the skateboard? What happened to that? We didn't hear anything else. We don't know what's going on with that. I don't even know if the boy is in jail or if he's in a mental home. We don't know anything. So it's about time for us to rise up as a nation, to rise up together and start fighting amongst each other, and basically come with some type of solutions. We already know it's a problem. What is a solution? What is our next step? Katherine, can you speak on that? How do you feel about that, Queen?
You raised a good point, and as you guys both know, that I am a single mom raising a black male, and it does start from the womb. It really starts from the womb, and
Mute that, please. Yes.
it really starts from the womb. And you talking to that child, even if you don't know the sex of the child, and letting them know like how you should behave yourself when you come into this world. And basically, I share with him now the current events that's happening around him, and then we have conversations around how young men and young women should carry on with one another. And when we discussed this, he wanted to get on. Actually, he wanted to be on the stream yard with us, but like I said, I was scrambling to figure out how to get on here.
Uh-huh.
And and he was like, wow. He said, he's been hearing that, we are the most disrespected race as females, but he said this is like really too much. And I just want to say there's a couple of brothers that I know that are in the Harlem area that love their black women, and they was kind of like sort of putting themselves down because, oh man, should have been there, this, that, and the other. You can't be everywhere
Where?
all
Right.
the time.
Right.
Tag a few brothers. I mean, I know it's hard, and I know it's hard today. We have COVID, and then people are not trusting, and people are not really cooperating with one another, in regards to the safety and the quality of life for, I was not just for the community, but for the black woman, because we are the ones that do mostly all the work. We take care of others. And when I say others, I mean not just the community in our race, but others too, before we take care of ourselves. And
That's true.
I just want to say, I really feel, I don't want nobody to beat me up, but I feel for these young men because we don't know their background. We don't know how they was raised. Why this young man wanted to bite this young woman in the face? Like, why? Like, did his mother do something to him when he was young, not give him the proper guidance? Or he feels that, I mean, I'm not playing the card where, oh, poo poo on them, but it's just such a vicious cycle that we're
Right.
all trapped in.
Absolutely.
And it's just, I mean, I really feel for this young lady. And also, you mentioned Shanice, the one that got slapped upside the head with the skateboard. Yeah, I'm like, what happened to that animal?
Right.
I really wanted to find out what happened to him as well, because that was crazy. But it happens too often. These girls, I mean, I'm not saying the girls do not put hands on these boys too, but they do. But I mean, to do something like that,
Right.
I mean, and then for somebody to film it and think it's funny, I'm just, and then for people to see this woman getting attacked and not just say, yo, bro, just chill, like, what you doing? I mean, we just really caught in a vicious cycle, and
Yes, we are.
we really need to be more loving and cooperative with one another, and just take deep breaths, and not try to tear each other up, try to reach for the mic or the camera, and this. No, it's not even about that. It's about what you do off the camera, off the mic.
Right.
Like, what are you doing in your households? How are you talking to your youth on the inside? Are you really making an impact, on the youth, and letting
Right.
them know this is not how to flow, this is not how to live, and just get them more engaged and, for a more quality of life. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
So thank you. So that this particular night that I seen, my husband and I, we saw the flyer, and we listen, we was on some relaxation mode, and when I saw that, and I was just like, I popped up and put on my purple, and I was on some represent, so at this particular video that he's going to show is that we was in front of the state building first, and then after that we went to the liquor store where the incident, outside the liquor store where the incident really happened, on the outside. However, there was people that was there was a young lady that spoke some great stuff, which was, she said, at the end of the day, we need our men to stand up. So if something happened to the men and they get incarcerated, who's there? And then it's funny that when I went to Rikers Island, I think it was like a year ago or something like that, for Mother's Day, to go speak to the ladies, and we gave them gifts and this and this and that. A lot of the ladies don't even get visitors. They don't have visitors, and it's to the point that, what's the double standard thing? We, like you said, we always be there for everybody, family, kids, husbands, boyfriends, side things, whatever it is that's going on in the person's life. We're always there. We find a woman fighting against each other because that side or that man or that whoever they dealing with is stepping out, and you fight with one another. I mean, I don't understand the issue on that, but hey, that's what they do. So with that is like, who's there for us? Who's there for us? And that is a issue. So Mr. The God I Be, can you please play the video?
Okay, peace. Yeah, I'm gonna play this video. Once again, the call-in number is 347-450-6397. 347-450-6397. I'm gonna play this video, and then we're gonna introduce our other guests. So hold on.
Hold up, listen up, listen up.
One mic.
Keep what you said. That's what they are. That's exactly what they are. Ignorant is ironic, though. We the record, a lot of shit. The reason why they want to be how they are. But they try to shit on us. Real shit. Everybody, this everywhere. Everywhere.
She out there for the photo, or she actually out there fishing?
Be honest.
Our family, to see us as family, to give our collective outrage.
Girl, let me not say nothing.
The honestly lies of our teachers that a nation can rise no higher than its women. So when you see a nation or a community where the woman is protected and respected, you know that's an elevated place for our women to be. But when you see a woman downtrodden, bitten, raped, and all that type of stuff, you know that we have turned out to be savages. The young brothers that did what they did, you don't get G points. You don't get God points, and you don't get gangster points. For a gangster does not pry on women in the weak or the elderly.
We don't do that as men, nigga.
Take advantage of a black sister if you're right or wrong.
You right.
In fact, the only point that they get is they appoint you to the stage of a savage. For a savage is a person who's lost the knowledge of
himself
and is living like a beast.
Way of life.
A beast that trains hard is all women. I'm here to tell you, our job is to civilize
Living
the savage.
mathematics.
Our job is to civilize the savage. And it gave us the Million-Man March. The man that gave us the clean cut, suited and booted, first-time recruited soldiers.
Yeah.
We want you to know that he loves you. And we got to organize. Thank you for listening. Assalamu alaikum. So
What you know. Tell what you know. Tell what you know. Tell what you know. I'm old school. I'm old school. Don't come up here with all that if you want. I'm old school. If somebody did that to my daughter or my sister, God, sweet thing, we ain't gonna go here. That's not what we call it for. But when you know, you know. And when you know, that's not shit. That's saving another young woman's life. They could kill her right here. I don't know if you saw it. Yeah. They could kill her. Mia, thank you for being. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. My name is Mia. I'm the organizer of Freedom Riders Society. We are an organization that has been outside of New York City. We believe that Black women are protected. Black women are brought to the front so it sickens me. Mic check. Mic check. It sickens me when I see my brothers who are supposed to be protecting Black women doing mistakes and not protecting us. I am 18 years old. I could be your sister. I could be your daughter. I could be a mother one day. Right. When you see me out in the streets, I am the same woman who comes in here, buying her liquor after a hard day of work. Facts. So she goes to her children. Right. Remember that Black women are supposed to be protected. Black women are supposed to be loved. We are your child bearers. We are your mothers. We are your sisters. We are your lifeline. Right. We are the people who are your backbone. Amen. We support Black men 24/7. Yes. All time. Right. When the system is putting you guys behind bars, we want to see you. Right here, right there. We want to see you. Right. At every single visit, at every single and packages. Oh shit. So we're going to say this in unison because it seems like the Black community seems to be forgetting that if they divide us, they will pick us apart one by one.
That's a fact.
I think we are all over this earth today. I think we are all over this earth. And that's what you want. And that's what they want.
Yes.
Wow.
That's real deal, man. You know, it's heartfelt words, you know, and it's definitely timely words. And you know, this is what's going on in the community. So you know, we definitely got to stay in tune. We got to get involved. If we're gonna be out here saying that we're active in the community, we have to be involved in everything, not just the things that we feel that are important. All of these things are important. So with that, I want to introduce our next guest, which is Dietra. Dietra, would you like?
Yay! Hey,
Hello,
Queen
Dietra.
Dietra. Okay, well,
Yeah,
there
that's
she go.
there. I'm so sorry. I had run to get some tea. How you doing? I'm so yeah. I'm Dietra Kelsey, host of Sister Talk TV show, and
Mhm.
also the playwright, producer, and the director of Whose Side Are You On? A gospel musical about gang and gun violence. I want to say thank you, thank both of you all for having this forum right now. I think is well needed. I was appalled when I saw the video. When I first saw the video on the news about this woman being attacked and all, and I think it's really about time that we really take a major focus, like we're doing Black Lives Matter, to really tackle the enemy within. I'm surprised that these people have not been caught. First, I'm surprised they have not been caught. I think the word out on the street is that they're not a part of the community. But I think for some reason, I don't believe that. I believe that somebody knows them because from the news, from what I saw from the news, a woman stepped up to the young lady and said, "Run," because they have done this before.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's like don't tell, don't snitch. So I think these people are part of the community, but it's something bigger. I'm not sure what it is. That's what I'm feeling right now. But yeah, I think it's a Paul. I think that we really have to really fight for our community, fight for the women, the children. It hurts me to my heart every time I see a child, most of all, killed. So, basically, I'm just glad I'm here just to be a part of that. Yeah.
Thank you. So I saw somebody put, they don't like the fact that people would say all men. I'm going to say, okay, fine. It's not all men. I don't even know the percentage. And this is something that my husband and I, we was just talking about last night. We don't know the percentage of all men, of the men, but I'm going to say if we had at least 20 women on here, they would say they've been disrespected. When I say disrespect, I'm saying overall around the board being disrespected, name calling, disrespected, hit it, disrespected, period. If you had 20, maybe 100, I don't know. But let's talk about how many times we've been disrespected as Black women. And if that's the case, when you say, don't say all men, I might as well say not all Black women. You, at the end of the day, I'm speaking about my culture of women. Or should I not say Black women? Should I say all women? No, at the end of the day, if it does not apply to you, you should not feel no kind of way about it. Period. That's all I'm gonna say about it. If it does not apply to you, do not feel no kind of way. I don't know the percentage, and maybe we could work on that. But for right now, this is what we say. And I'm not even gonna say those guys are men. Because men who know better will not act like that. Those are young boys who have the age of a man. Okay, I say that. I say that. But at the end of the day, it's still disrespecting the woman, Black woman. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna keep it on us because that's what I see. Um, then you have the 22-year-old young man who shot his mother because she said to get a job. To get a job. He shot his mother. Why? Because she said to get a job. How long do I have to still continue to report to give you all the things that you want? What is going on? Why are we dealing, or why are we facing so much hurt and pain, and to the point that you want to kill us, you want to hurt us? It is more to that. If y'all really look back at that video, you see that it was not just a whole bunch of boys there. Pay attention to the video on the outside of the liquor store. It's a little bit more than we think it is. Okay. Even if they're a part of a gang or something, we as a community need to go and say, listen, this gotta stop. This have to stop. Go to the homie. Whatever we need to do, we need to approach the situation on hand. This is the same way our kids get disrespectful out there in the streets. If Katherine saw my daughter and she was being disrespectful, Katherine will come to me and say, "Hey, Shanice, I saw your daughter. She was being disrespectful." Going to the source, right? So maybe this is what the community needs to do. Go to the source. I don't know, but something have to give. We are okay, it seemed like, when these things are happening to the woman. But when it happened to the men, majority, I'm gonna say majority, so that way we can say stay in the safe place. Majority of the men is like, oh, but she probably made that happen, or maybe she was disrespectful to him, or maybe she's a bitch. What is all that for? Why are we saying it's not her? I mean, it's not him, it's something with her. Maybe she did that. Maybe she, but it still don't give no right for somebody to attack her. This is the problem. Why are we okay to flip the coin and say maybe it was the other person and not really stay on point of what the hell happened and who did it? What's your thoughts on that, ladies?
Hold on, before they go in, I just want to read a couple comments that was in the chat. So, in response to the comment that Mr. Charles Russell Clink, my brother Prince Secure, said, I just don't like the generalization of all men. Mr. Asakele Mitchell said, Charles Russell Clink Jr., you might have had a point, but all men that were there did nothing to help her, and that is inexcusable. And then my beloved Uncle Mark, he's here. He said, unfortunately, we have people who co-sign the foolishness through their silence. And like my criminal justice sister, Kalila T. Olukunolo, I'm sorry, I can't say it the way it's supposed to be said, but says the black community can't have it both ways. Even the BLM must not only speak up when it's white racist officer, we must be just as vocal when it's Pookie and Ray Ray terrorizing our community. All right.
That
So
is what we talked about yesterday.
that's right.
Black Lives Matter. You're saying Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Is it Black Lives Matter only when it's the police? Black Lives Matter only when it's no. Black Lives Matter to the overall of what of the title. The title is Black Lives Matter. So where were they when this situation happened? Can
Okay. So can we get a comment from our
yes,
next guest that's
yes.
on the
Hi
line?
Tawanna, how are
Her
you?
name is Tawanna Baker. Unmute. I'll unmute you. Introduce yourself and say what's on your mind. Speak your mind.
Hello, my name is Tawanna Baker. I'm CEO of Baker Concise Communications and BCC Travel Elite. I am also a co-author of Our Glory Is Story Volume 2. I am a member of, I was born and raised in Harlem. I am a member of the community. I've seen the way things have changed and shifted from when we were younger to middle age to now. And I think the disrespect has shifted more so because people has enabled it. If you really look at the structure of the way a family was back in the 70s and 80s and the way the community was, you had to look behind you and make sure somebody wasn't, that knew your family wasn't there when you was doing something you had no business.
Absolutely.
If you was even if it was you was cussing, you had to check and make sure your neighbor or somebody your mother knew or somebody your father knew wasn't around so that they could tell on you or they could pull your coattail. As we got a little bit older, it became some young men were disrespectful when you walk past them, and they'll be, "Hey, ma, how you doing?" If you don't speak nothing back, all of a sudden you're being called names. But it wasn't the physical point that it is now. And I
Right.
think more so now is because a lot of so-called OGs are kind of intimidated by the way the youngsters are rocking nowadays. They feel like I can't talk to them because they wilding. But you got to remember, at one point you were wilding. It had to take
Right.
somebody to pull you to the side and say, "Look, this is not the way to go. If you want a female's attention, this is how you get it." But a lot of older gentlemen are not willing because they see some of these guys don't have direction. And from what you and this is what just came to mind. If you see your mother allowing it to be done to her, allowing a man to disrespect her, you think this is how this is supposed to play out. So when another female doesn't allow that disrespect, then your aggression comes out. When in all actuality, we're not supposed to allow it to begin with. But if some of us do and think it's cute, because there are females out there that think it's cute for a man to have his underwear shown in public, which means you don't know when you know better, you do better.
That's right.
And if you walking around with your pants hanging around your behind, that's showing no respect to yourself. So how much respect can you have for the next person? If nobody's telling you this or giving you that input, guess what? You're just going to keep going on thinking everything is cool. And then you got other people following you thinking it's okay. Right. And it's not. But nobody's going to step up and say, this is not okay. Even though I do see that there are programs that's trying to help the situation as far as being a mediator, there's not enough to go around where this generation can feel comfortable with saying, look, I don't know how to. Can you show me how to approach somebody? There's a lack of communication, period.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for mentioning that, because I was on Facebook Live yesterday, and I mentioned that. I used to walk down the block and yo, man, you got a big butt and all that. And I used to, turn back around, say something, but it's not the way it is today. I used to have some of my friends used to walk me, Tawanna, you on mute. I used to have some of my friends to walk me to wherever block I needed to go to or whatever have you. So with that, it was a little bit more of a protection. And I didn't know. No, I was. Now that I'm looking back at it, it's like, wow, I'm happy they were walking me down the block. I'm happy they were, Shanice is late. You need me to. I'm happy, but do we have that now? Remember, we are the first teachers. We are the first teachers because majority of the time, our children are left with the mothers. So we are the first teachers, right? Now, as what you said, Tawanna, as I walk down the block, I would say to the young man, hey, you got a stain in your underwear? And they would be like, I do. And they hurry up and pull up their clothes. And I would say, I don't want to see your butt. Whatever works, it works. I say those things. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to see your ass. Excuse me. But Speak Your Mind podcast, right?
Speak your mind.
If I see any child that I know, especially Katherine, your son, Chris, if I see him out of line, I'm going to say something. And that's our old school ways. That's the way we was brought up. But Katherine, you did mention the mom. I don't want to speak on mom wasn't a good mom. I don't want to say that because we don't know. And just because he did what he did does not mean that he didn't grow up in a good home. We don't know. But
can I intervene? Can I intervene?
Yeah, mental health is something else.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I didn't say mom was or is a bad mom. I'm just saying, she probably had some issues that she probably didn't know how to deal with him. It's just, like I said, it's such a vicious cycle. We don't even know how to piece that together. But the bottom line is that this young lady was victimized. That's just the bottom line.
Of course.
But we have to look at all the components. We have to. We really do. And then it can't just be, like you said, we can't just have Black Lives Matter coming out, like you said, because it's a police brutality or something more political going on. We have to all come to every group possible, no matter, put the pride and the egos to the side and just come to the forefront and say, yes, Black women are the most disrespected, not just in this country, but globally wide. Just disrespected, disregarded,
Worldwide.
and we are the ones
Mm-hmm.
that, like you said, we are here. We're here left behind to raise our children. And like you said, I'm raising a male child, teenager at that, during this time. So I have to pull together everything that I've learned growing up, everything that I've learned even uh, grooming him and raising him here right in the Harlem community.
Mm-hmm.
And I will big up to all the brothers that I have in his life that he's been surrounded by for the last, I would say, 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, but not, like I said, not everybody knows how to approach people and say, hey, I need help. Because we were not, okay, some of us, I'm gonna correct myself. Some of us was not uh, placed on here, on this earth to say, well, I need help. Some people, no, don't go ask Miss So-and-so for help or Mr. So-and-so for help because they nosy and this, that, and the other. But my generation, I'm in my 50s. My generation, we all put in the pot to groom this child. And I always said, I feel like my generation, I don't know, some of us like we missed the mark or something. And then here we have the youth. I mean, with the George Floyd starting a new movement. It's not just about Black Lives Matter, just a new movement in whole, saying we're not going to take this, things need to be changed.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, look at a couple of weeks ago, 200,000 plus storming the U.S. Capitol.
Mm.
I mean, I know I'm getting political. I'm sorry, a little off the tangent, but everything is just so embedded. And it just keeps going and going and going until, like I said, Shanice, we have to come together in the Black community, us, Black community, and really, really just be cooperative with one another. Because we just celebrated Kwanzaa. And that's one of the principles.
Well, I want to speak
Cooperation.
about that. I want to speak about as far as the Black Lives Matter situation. What I want to say about the Black Lives Matter situation is that we can't look for these heroes outside of our community, right? I was out there during the protests over the summertime and the Black Lives Matter situation, and a lot of the people that was out there during Black Lives Matter protests was not
Was
people
not
from
bad.
the community. It was people. I understand that it was this whole equality moment, like Dr. Martin Luther King spoke about, where white people and Black people were joining hands and so forth and so on. But these same people was advocating for things like defund the police department and all of these different issues. But now that the police department is ostracized by our community, as they have been for a long time, none of these people that was here over the summertime are still here. We still here. So we still have to deal with the issues that are within our community ourselves, because nobody else is going to do it. We're not going to have anybody coming into our community and saying, okay, well, let's go out here and fight for this woman, or let's do this, or let's do that. It's going to be us that's going to have to do it. So, but beyond that, though, I wanted to read this article so we could go on to this second topic about the Black woman who was killed by her son on the east side. So I don't know if everybody knows about this situation, but this is also a situation that happened over the last week. And the article goes, family of Harlem mom killed by son seek help with funeral costs. Relatives of Fatumata Danson, fatally shot Wednesday by her own son, seek help paying for her funeral and raising her other children. East Harlem, New York. Family members of an East Harlem woman who was shot to death by her own son this week have launched an online fundraiser to help cover her funeral costs. Fatumata Danson, 39, was fatally shot Wednesday morning in her East Harlem apartment by her 22-year-old son, Musa Kamara, according to the police. The GoFundMe was launched Wednesday by Muhammad Kamara, another of Danson's sons. In addition to funeral expenses, donations will help Muhammad care for her younger siblings, according to the GoFundMe spokesperson. Danson, a mother of six, came to America in the 90s with the plan on building a better life for herself and her children. She was one of the most kind-hearted and family oriented people, Kamara wrote. Unfortunately, after having a rough relationship with her eldest son for a few years, he decided to take her life on Tuesday morning. Sadly, her life came to an end, but she's in a better place now.
And she's in a better place now.
Wow.
That's how they
Wow.
end that.
No, that's
Wow.
not how they ended it. It's still some more.
Oh,
I'll just,
okay.
I
I was
just
about
cut
to
it.
say, what?
Yeah, I cut it. So at the end of the article, it says Musa Kamara who reportedly had a history of mental illness, fled the building and fired a shot at a bystander on the street, according to the police. He was later apprehended and hospitalized. Wow. So what's your
Wow.
thoughts on that?
I don't
Wow.
know. Yeah,
Or
somebody
you,
take
or,
that.
or you can say it's just wow, like
Wow.
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 Go ahead, Tawanna.
That's that's to me. That's I mean, for you to take the woman who gave you life, that got to be a mental. That to me, I guess I'm strong on that because I've worked in the mental health field for about 12 years. But I think there has to be something that is not connecting together in order for you to take the person's life who gave you life. Um, that that's to me. I don't even know how to come at that because does it say anything about like did she try to get help for him at some point or like it's so many questions behind that because I don't I can't personally comprehend taking your parents away.
Okay,
Right.
we got Dietra back. Dietra back. Did you hear about the mother that was shot by her son on the east side?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Something was going on with my internet. I'm sorry about that, but I got it straightened out. Yeah, I did hear about that. I don't know if we should address mental illness also.
Yes.
I'm feeling that there's a background to that, and probably because there's, no structure in some of our in our lives. Single mothers. There's a lot of single mothers. Um, I don't know about the co-parenting. This is just what I hear people tell me. Um, the other person's, the mother or the father that's not in a child's life or what have you, and they will grow up carrying all that maybe trauma during their lifetime, maybe that guidance, that non-guidance during their lifetime. So want to, I'm looking at mental illness also. That's a
Mm-hmm.
part. Um, yeah, and also the Black Lives Matter. Um, I feel that we need them. We do. But let's face it, and I've said this so many times, I believe that Black Lives Matter and the hashtag Me Too has been pretty much hijacked by white people. And I think nothing is going to really happen unless we do something. And I think
Absolutely.
this what we're doing is a start. Is a start. And just to make some noise, some rattle, what have you. And like you said earlier, Shanice, about um, I think Shanice and I forgot the other lady that's in the car. I'm sorry.
Tawanna.
Baker.
About all of us actually about going after these, walking up to these people that's head of these gang members. We know them. They're part of our family. They're part of our community. We watch them grow. Hey, you don't need to do this. First of all, you can't shoot straight because you're killing kids. We need to get on that. And people that know how to talk to these young people to see if we can come to, I hate to say this word, some type of agreement when these
Mhm.
these gang members have these battles. You don't shoot innocent people. all of us are innocent, but not children. That's my
Right.
thoughts on it. That's my
Right.
thought.
Well, thank you. It's funny because I have brought this up too. Certain blocks that I live on, I have lived on, um, the block, the guys will protect the block, like totally protect the block. Nobody can come in that block disrespecting the woman at all. Nobody can come in there and disrespect mother, nobody. Okay, these are the type of blocks I used to live on back in the day. I still live on one of those reckless blocks, but they have calmed down a lot because why? A lot of the homies is not on the block no more. Um, they in jail or they dead. I don't know, but these were the type of protection we had
Yeah.
from the gang members. I mean, not every gang member is a bad person. Let's say that. But let's say the things that's being done by the younger ones is reckless. It's just purity reckless. And I'm going to say fools don't feel as foolish as long as they are all around a bunch of damn fools. So if you all around fools, then is like giving you the props, like big ups and stuff that you did that. You no, but your emotion.
But at the same time, you
Right
gotta
now,
realize
hold on 1 second. Let me just finish. That your emotions is going to lead you somewhere that you're not ready for, either in jail or gone. Because next minute, they're going to be having a GoFundMe for somebody else who did something reckless to people in the community. I mean, I don't understand it. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tawanna.
it's two type of mentalities we have right now. We have the free Pookie syndrome, where Pookie could do whatever he want to do and terrorize the neighborhood, but as soon as he get locked up, you got people free Pookie, free Pookie. He ain't never did nothing to nobody. That's
That's a
that
damn lie.
yeah, exactly. Then you also have the ones who, luckily, I don't know how old everybody else is on this podcast,
We're
but
over
we didn't
40.
do
We have a
yeah.
caller.
So we
We have a
wasn't
caller.
we wasn't
Okay,
raised
hold
in
on.
Hello.
No,
This is
hold
the
on.
Speak Your Mind
Hold on.
podcast. We have a caller.
One. To send a
Okay.
voicemail, press
Let's want to finish her statement, please.
Okay.
to accept.
Thank you.
One. To send a
we
voicemail.
Go ahead.
Two.
we wasn't raised in the era of social media and
Right.
doing things for likes. A lot of things that, like, to me back in the days, we was raised before recording.
Mhm.
So of course people would step up and be like, "Yo, you can't do that right here."
Mhm.
Now you're gonna be recorded. I
Mhm.
gotta record this. This is for likes. This is for
Mhm.
likes. When this generation that's coming up starts to realize every like ain't a like and every heart ain't a love, it might change something. But right now, everybody is in social media land. We gotta
Mhm.
do this for reps and all of it. And half the people don't even like you.
Right.
They don't like you. They don't even
Right.
like what you did. They just find it funny and they share it. And now you famous for something idiotic. Now you hiding and running your face. Can't nobody find you for something you did for likes.
That's good. You're
And
right.
then you also got to realize, like, my son, and it's funny.
Oh, we lost your audio. Can't hear you. Can y'all hear her?
We hear a little bit.
Yes, it's muted a little bit. Okay, so while she getting the audio together, I'm gonna try to get the caller back on the line.
Yeah, we couldn't hear you, Tawana. Okay. But great point. Thank you so much. You're right. We didn't live in this Facebook Live and all of this going on. We didn't live underneath that. So you're definitely right. We have flip phones and beepers. Everybody on here is over 40, right?
That's a fact. Well, I can't get the caller on the line, but I do want to play. I do want to play this speech. Matter of fact, we didn't give proper respect when we opened up this podcast. We want to say rest in power to Cicely Tyson. You know, she
Yes.
passed over the last week. She was 96 years old, and she was definitely one of the foremost institutions that we have in our community. She was a great woman, so we definitely want to give some honor and respect to her and allow her voice to grace this podcast right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play a speech from her in a movie. I'm not gonna say what movie it is because I don't. Hold up, we got the caller back. Let's get the caller on the line, see what he has to say, or she.
Call from. To accept, press 1. To send a voice.
This is the Speak Your Mind podcast. Who's this? Hello, this is the Speak Your Mind podcast. Who's this? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, don't listen to the Facebook. Listen to the phone. Listen to the phone.
Oh, that's Mark McPhee. That's Mark.
Hello.
Yes, we
Yes.
hear you, Mike.
Mark.
Mark.
Okay. This is Brother Mark. And so, like the sisters say, we have mothers in our community who co-signed the BS.
Mm-hmm.
We must talk about baby boy syndrome. And some of the mothers in our community are not taking responsibility for creating these monsters.
Mm.
Let me give you case in point. They go out and buy these kids $200 sneaker. They go out and buy these kids $600 phones. And so these young men feel they can pimp their mother.
Mm-hmm.
That when mother not able to go out and do these things, and she tell that son, time for you, young man, to get a job. Now he feel his ego threatened, and he looked at his mama as outsider. Now I understand our sister was from Gambia, and this young man, she had problem with her son for some time. Not sure about his mental issues, but still in the Black community, we have mothers who are not teaching their sons that if you want something in life, you have to work for it. And what they're doing is making it harder for those good sisters because we get young men who think that he's supposed to sit back and mother or girlfriend or woman is supposed to buy him these things and do these things. We have to go back to basic manhood training.
Mm.
These young men have to learn to be men. And it's up to OGs to snatch these little boys, bring their little boys, and tell them this is not how you treat your mama. This is not how you treat a woman. And in
Period.
terms of the young men who attack the sister at the liquor store, there's a certain kind of justice that's waiting on them. I
Mm-hmm.
don't advocate violence, but one day they're going to run into someone like a real life Medea. And when she pull out her 45 and shoot that boy dead, we don't need these mothers talking about
Right.
it was a good boy.
That's right.
We have this bad habit in our community. A year, half ago, young man get killed. And some of the people in the community get mad when one of the OGs stood up and say it's our fault and it's the community fault. Because when this young boy was 14 years old and committing robberies, instead of putting him in his place, there were OGs
that were high-fiving this young man and
Mm.
thinking it was cool. But then justice caught up with him when he tried to change his life. That street life, that street culture came and got him.
Mm.
So that's a different kind of street justice. Thank
Mm.
you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. I just want to
Wow.
highlight a
Thank
couple
you,
of things
Mark.
that you
Thank you.
said. I think that were very, very, very important. We do not have manhood training at this point in time, right? If you look back at movies like Roots, they showed at one specific point in the movie when they were still in Africa, when back in the days they used to have a point where all of the young males were brought outside of the community for a certain type of initiation called manhood training, where they were given a rites of passage and they were shown exactly what it is to be a man, and they was given their duties. And when they left from that initiation rite, they was allowed to go out there into the community and actually contribute. And that's what's missing in our community right now. They have a brother by the name of Naeem Akbar. He wrote a book about maleness to manhood. And that's the difference. We got a lot of males out here, but a lot of men. They don't know what it takes
Mm-hmm.
to be men. And that's the issue. And some of that disconnect comes with a lot of the forces that we have been facing here in the wilderness of North America, whether it's we talking about slavery or whether we're talking about the economy, as far as men not being able to provide for their families in the proper way in this economy and ending up going into jails and prisons and leaving families out there to survive for themselves. So a lot of that is also the disconnect within the community, as far as us not looking at the community as a community. We're looking at everybody as a stranger, an outsider, or so forth and so on. We walk past the little brothers that's out there on the corner, or the guys by the liquor store, or the guys in the store, everywhere. We just walk right past them without looking at them or speaking to them or acknowledging them. This is
Mm-hmm.
something that we have to change as a community in order to truly be a community.
That's true. Thank you. You know, it's funny because when we walk down the block, my husband is always peace, peace. How you doing? How you? And I'm like, why do you speak to everybody? But I understand. You know, I understand. Breaking bread. That's like breaking bread, saying peace. How you doing? You know, as you walk. However, we're women. We're not going to just say peace to a guy, hi to a guy. You know, we just want to go in, get out, and be safe about whatever whatever we doing. So I just want to leave these little keyword or drop these tools, and I know we're going to be getting off soon. So I want to say, so in order to know what to rebuild, we must first investigate to find out what is being destroyed, right? In order to know what to restore, we must first analyze to find out what is lost. In order to heal, we must first examine to properly diagnose the place where disease exists. This is a disease. Someone who just want to hurt somebody who just want to kill somebody, someone who want to just bluntly disrespect the woman or the man, it doesn't matter, or children. Is a problem. And since we are first rebuilding, restoring, and healing ourselves first, we must endure a very through. We have to analyze ourselves, self-examination, or personal self-analyzing. So we have to really sit back and think about what is the problem, what can we do, how can we destroy it, how can we heal it, how can we rebuild it, what can we do? And that is my last statement. And anybody else would like to
So
say?
before y'all add on, I just want to play this clip from the elder. You know, she passed away, and we definitely want to show her some respect. And what she said was definitely prominent in this clip. Tell me if you can hear it.
I didn't hear it. If you playing it now, I don't hear it.
Okay.
Young black men,
I hear it now.
your place.
Mm.
We need you. Your sons and daughters need you. Did you understand what I just said? You were sold off and had no choice. Yes, but now it's time to stay. Take your place. Now! Starting now! Starting now! Young black women, you are more than your thighs and your hips. You are beautiful, strong, powerful. I want more from you. Take your place.
What y'all think about that?
She was speaking truth.
It's timeless. It's timeless. Not only did we need it then, we need it now. Because we need our young men to know that they are more than just, excuse my quotes, but niggas. They are young kings. They are men. They are designed and destined for greater. So they need to have that impacted in them, as well as our young girls need to know that they are not just what they look like or who they are. Powerful. They are. Their words matter, and they do matter. So yes, it is needed on both sides, and it's timely.
So we have a
Absolutely.
comment from Asa Kelly Mitchell. He said, we have too many angry, irrational, and dysfunctional black males and females walking around, each a potential atom bomb ready to wreak devastation on our community.
What did y'all thoughts on that, Dietra?
We can't hear you, Dietra. Unmute yourself.
Oh, yes, I totally agree. I totally agree with Cicely Tyson's statement. We are more than our hips and thighs. I totally agree with Mr. Mitchell's statement that we're just a bomb ready to explode. But the whole thing is that I believe that Dr. Boyce Watkins, the Black Business School, said we have to change the condition of our mind. And that's what it boils out to. And then nobody's going to do it but ourselves, the community.
That's right. Kathy, what you think?
Well, I love Cicely Tyson, and I always gave her much respect. And I will always watch the movie with her in it. I didn't know she was a Harlem Night either, So I hope she's resting in power right now, and her legacy is going to continue. My thing is, it goes back to it's the same thing. What comes first, the chicken or the egg? It's like I can only say like this. I'm working like a household at a time. It's just me and this black male that I'm raising right now, who is 14, who is not he's not part of the statistic of going in the wrong direction. And it took the village to assist. And like I said, it was about, basically getting your mind right. But I was raised like, if you want something, you gotta go for it. So once I knew of one organization that dealt with the youth, I got them involved with that one, and then was able to branch out to others, and this is how I just met the most wonderful brothers here in the Harlem community. So, and like you said, Shanice, he already knows. You mama. When I'm not there, you mama. Like, you would never see him sagging, but you would know if he's doing something out of character, you can go and check him. See, that's how it used to be back in the day. It was called, it was community. But like go back to what was asked. We don't know it's the same thing. What comes first, the chicken or the egg? And like I said, we're caught in a vicious cycle. I mean, we can get off, but it's going to take one household at a time, one building at a time, one block at a time, one community at a time, and if we start loving on each other more, and especially black women, and I truly appreciate, I appreciate you, Shanice.
Thank you.
And what you do. I appreciate how your husband loves on you, because that's what the youth need to see. The young men and women need to see more of that, so they know how to move forward, and try their best not to get caught up in the other riffraff that's going on around them. And like I go back, that young man that bashed that young girl in the head with the skateboard, that was somebody's child, somebody's baby, both of them, somebody, and I don't know. So I don't know. I just, like I said, I'm starting with one household at a time.
You
You know,
know,
and then we can go and we spread what we have, what we learned, what we know, what we feel, and what we vibe with. So one household at a time.
what gets to me when somebody says that's not my problem, that's not my issue. No, it is. Because when it happens to someone in your household or someone in your family, you will want the same support. So yes, it is our issue. Yes, it is our problem. And as Black women, I want to say we can't do it all. We definitely need the support from Black men. Okay, Black men. We definitely need the support. We all need to come to this table and say, hey, what can we do together? Not just a few us women on. Black men, where are you? We need y'all. We want y'all support. There is some positive Black men. I married one, so I know it's some. And then a lot of his friends are positive brothers as well, and I see them. But we definitely need more of that. Yes, Tawanna.
But that's where, not to be funny, but that's where we need to raise more male leaders,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of these kids are following and
Mm-hmm.
they're not leading. One thing I know for in my heart of hearts is I raised my son to be a leader. If
Mm-hmm.
he's around other people that's about to do something negative, he will be that one that will basically have to be like, okay, my decision is either to stay here and make it look like I'm condoning what they're doing, or I leave. If I leave, somebody else might feel uncomfortable with the situation and leave with me. But at least I'm leading somebody else out of a situation that could get everybody messed up. And a lot of young people don't know how to lead. They know how to follow. And that's one thing I can say as a former educator.
Mm.
Education teaches you how to repetitively learn something. It doesn't teach you how to lead. It teaches you how to follow instructions, follow rules, give you structure, but it doesn't teach you how to lead at the right times where you need to lead. Maybe your friends, maybe yourself. If if it was more of a collective, I remember growing up, the word community, you didn't just have a child. Everybody had a child. The lady down the block knew you, knew your mama, knew everybody, knew everybody. But once we got into the mentality of this is my child, you can't say anything to my child. Don't.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the kids started feeling like, oh, you can't say nothing to me because I go get
Mm-hmm.
my mother.
Mm-hmm.
So when they feel that way, what can you say if somebody's back in the nonsense? We all need to get back to that level of I don't like the block that I live on in Philadelphia, but it's certain older people that I like on the block because of the simple fact of I know you looking out for my child. If
Mm-hmm.
I'm not home and so you see my child doing something they ain't got no business, either I'm gonna get a phone call or my child gonna get yoked up to the side. And then when my child come back and tell me, oh my such and such yoked me up. Okay, why did they yoke you up? If
Mm-hmm.
you was in the wrong, then I've always expressed to my kids, if you right, I got your back 100%. But if you wrong, you better make it right before you come back to me with it.
That's right.
But if you don't have that type of structure and you got a parent that's always going to say, "Oh, he wouldn't do that," no, he went. That breeds that entitlement of I could do what I want, I could touch who I want, I could hurt who
Mm-hmm.
I want, and it never comes back. And that's where the feeling of community just went to the wayside when nobody could actually say something. So for all of us who want to bring this back, who want to bring that community feel back, do it out of love. When you
Mm-hmm.
pull somebody kid to the side, Do it out of love. Look, you could be my son. You could be my daughter. I don't want to see you out here getting hurt. Do
Mm-hmm.
it out of love. They take kindly to that than the bombarding and the berating and all of that.
Right.
But
Exactly.
that's what the community was when we was younger. It was
Mm-hmm.
love.
Right.
It was love.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we got a comment. We got a comment from Asa Kelly Mitchell. I think it speaks to what you're saying. And he basically said we need healing in our community. And those good people like the God, Mark, you beautiful sisters, and myself really need to find others like us and ramp up the healing processes and rites of passage programs for the youth. And we need
Mm.
to realize that some of these youths, they have cognitive and emotional challenges because of things like being second generation crack babies. The crack
Mm-hmm.
babies of the late 80s and 90s didn't disappear. They have children now. Now, you know, some people challenge the idea of what a crack baby is, and they say that that's not true as far as the cognitive issues. But what I will say is that the attachment phase of a person is very important in their life, and if they have a insecure attachment at a young age, meaning that their parent wasn't in their life and showing them that love and nurturing and all of these different things, when they grow up, then that's the only way that they're going to know how to interact with people. And we have one other comment by the brother Mark McPhee. Mark McPhee says, Mama Tyson brought the roots too. Many family reunions, they focus on the food and music. There's another
Mm-hmm.
part of that dialogue. At these family reunions, who is speaking at the moment of truth? I am talking beyond the blessings of the food. Who is bringing the history and encouraging us to do better and be better as Mother Tyson? And I think those are definitely great comments right there.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for the comments. I appreciate it. But you know, we all definitely are wanting to come together and do something about it, because in the next couple of years it's going to get really bad. Now let's go back. ACS took away our rights as parents to bust their ass
Right.
when they getting out of hand. Let's talk about that
Yeah.
too. ACS took away our rights. So now our children are what? What are they doing to us now? They coming back at us. And we can't do nothing about it
Mm-hmm.
because ACS. No, how about you go ahead? And that's where a lot of parents is at. You go ahead. So that way I won't be in a system. I or my other children will be safe. And you just the problem, you go ahead. So they push them out the house, or they say things to them to hurt their feelings. At the end of the day, our children got feelings too. Our children got feelings too. They are us. So when we hurt them, we're actually hurting ourselves as well. But once again, ACS took away our rights to discipline. But then you got the police who want to discipline.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, what's your point on that?
I like to say something.
Yes.
I'm going to date myself. I remember growing up when they really started separating the kids from the parents, where this man and woman, a husband and wife, they had like 5, maybe 6 children. And the husband beat one of his sons, I guess, real bad. And he went to school the next day. The teacher saw the welts. And
Mm-hmm.
they called, I guess, I'm from DC. I don't know what it's called, but let's say ACS. They call ACS. And they took that child out of the home. And he never got back. He never left the system. All the other kids grew up fine. But he was into the street life, the thug life, and the gangs and all that. I say that there is a systemic plot to really destroy us, you know.
That's right.
And I'm not against Black Lives Matter per se, although I said earlier they have been hijacked. But when it comes to us trying to rebuild our community and educate ourselves, there's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
We can go, and no disrespect to anybody out here, we can go to Africa, which is good, and build a water well, fresh water. We could get grants on that. But when it comes to us, trying to, again, change the condition of the mind, being entrepreneurs, having women not think that their body is going to get them over, or basketball is going to get them over football, or teaching history, our history. There's an issue.
Right.
That's what I have to say.
It's funny you mentioned the history part because the person that was in office said, when you teach those people their history, you're promoting hate. No. When you constantly show that we getting our behinds whipped on TV every Black History Month, February, you're teaching us to hate, or you're trying to teach us to stay in your place, Black man, Black woman. It depends on how you look at it. But we will continue to rise above all of this, and that's something that they do not like. Tomorrow makes February 1st, and Black History Month. And as I always do for the last couple of years, I try my very best to remember to put something up there that our Black leaders or our Black artists or whoever in the past did, because our people need to understand that we're not just basketball players, we're not just rappers, we are also builders. You know what I'm saying? We are kings and queens. As my husband showed me a list of Black kings and queens from different part of the world. We don't talk about that. We need to know that. We need to know that. And I will continue, and I hope everybody else be on the same page. Every day, post something about Black history. Black history. We went to Washington, D.C., to that a museum out there. Beautiful. And I came back home with books so that way I could learn more. And if I could I would take some of the articles from the books and put it on my Facebook every day. If I could remember, everybody's busy, but if I could remember, I will post something about our Black history, our Black leaders, our Black artists, community advocates, all of that. It's not just about Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Frederick Douglass. It's so many. It's so many. And we just know about so little because that's what they want us to really believe we can't do it. And that's a shame. But with that, I'm going to keep my mouth closed because as y'all see, I'm getting hype.
So before we close out, we would like y'all to definitely give your name and where people can reach you, and if you have any projects that's going on in the community, highlight those, or any rallies or anything that's going on, just let us know. Starting with Katherine.
Hey, peace once again. My name is Katherine, and I'm raising a young male. What can I say? Future leader, I might add. And I have a couple of projects that I'm working on. It's all preliminary, but you can reach out to me. My our Gmail is catchrisbusiness@gmail.com. Our business is 2B Productions. You can reach out to me, 646-945-8116. Yeah, basically, I'm spending my 50s and raising a future leader and making sure that I have something to leave behind for him. So, yeah, we just have a few things that we're working on in 2021 that was stopped in 2020. But yeah, and I just want to say, once again, I appreciate We Are Phenomenal Women and what it's doing for the community.
Thank you.
And like I said, it's just about, cooperative working with one another and just, I like what I forgot what the brother's name was that made the comment that we all need to just band together, and it's about the rites of passage for these youth, the boys and the girls. So let's see what we can do. You know,
There you
I'm
go.
all down. Listen, I'm all down for it. You know, I'm
Hmm.
ready. I'm ready.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
No, thank you.
So we have Dietra, Kelsey. I do want to say that Dietra, we definitely enjoy going to the play that you sponsored
Yes.
in the last year. That play was definitely beautiful. So let's hear some stuff of what the new things you got going on.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you all for helping me cast the play. It's Q Williams, it's
Yes.
Rosetta McLean. They did a phenomenal job.
Hmm.
They were both fantastic in that. And I want to thank you also, Shanice, for helping me get the vendors together and
You're
all
welcome.
that. I want to continue to do the show, the play next year. Mark McPhee is co-producing with me. And we're looking also for other people to come on board because me and Mark and I talked about fundraising and so
Yes.
forth. And it's just not a play. We do have panel discussions about gang and gun violence. We
Hmm.
had ex-gang members there. We had Aisha Sakor, our street resources on the panel. Marion Frampton that was on the panel. A.U. Hogan, who's an actor and a community activist, and a 14-year-old young lady named Chastity who witnessed her mother being shot. So
Wow.
we had a great time. Right now, I'm really getting back into the film and television industry. I'm working on a detective pilot and see how that goes. I'm looking at the community to come on board with that. So you can reach me at the website of Whose Side Are You On? WSAYO.org. That's
Hmm.
WSAYO.org. Or you can call me at 646-481-1231. That's
Thank you.
646-481-1231. And again, thank you for letting me be a part of this panel discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Anytime. We
you.
definitely enjoyed y'all being a part of the discussion, and we definitely will have y'all again in the future.
Hmm.
It's Sunday afternoon. I know people could be doing anything in the world, but they here with us today to speak their mind about relevant things that's in the community, and that's what's most important. We want to keep this Speak Your Mind podcast in the mind of works like the open line with that used to be on WBLS and Kiss FM. We want the community to
They
be
still
involved.
there, brother. They still there.
Oh, that's excellent. That's excellent. I
Oh,
have
that's
a feeling.
great.
But we want people to speak their mind, and we want the community to be involved in this because this is about us bringing our community together so we could come and talk together about these relevant topics.
I
There
also
you go.
want to thank Shanice for coming on the Sister Talk TV show
Yes.
about WATW, uh,
Thank you.
domestic violence. Uh,
Yes.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah.
No, thank
Yeah.
you.
Well, thanks for having y'all on, and we'll see y'all soon.
Hmm. Peace, everybody.
Peace.
Peace.
Okay, so that was the fourth. That was the fourth issue of Speak Your Mind podcast. We'd like to thank everybody that came on today. We definitely want to salute the people that was in the chat. We had a couple people in the chat that made some comments that I think was not said, but who we had in the chat here? We definitely have to send a shout out to the sister Nikki Gardner. She's always supportive. She's definitely supportive. We definitely want to send a shout out to Dolphine Neal. We want to send a shout out to Jay Sims. We want to send a shout out to my brother Prince Shakur. Mark McPhee for always giving his point of view and sending us paragraphs of information. We want to send a shout out to Asakeli Mitchell. Hopefully we could get both of y'all on the podcast in the future. We also want to send a shout out to Jakisha Brill and Kirkland, who was on the podcast a couple weeks ago. We thank you for adding on. Peace and blessings to you as well. And we also want to send a shout out to who else? Oh, our panelists today, which were Catherine Marrow, Dietra Kelsey, and Tawanna Baker. Like we said, this is the Speak Your Mind podcast. This is your forum. This is for the community, and we're going to continue to add on. We're going to continue to bring relevant topics to the table so that we can speak about them. With that, I'm going to say peace. So we have to end with our music because our music is what speaks to what we do on this podcast. So with that, I say peace.
Too much on my mind, there's too much on my mind.
Peace.